Have you ever been so broke and so scared that you actually started like making, in your head, you started making a list of all the people you know that have money that maybe they might give you a loan to just help you make your rent this month? Like, oh my God, if this person, maybe they'll loan me $1,000. If this $5,000, maybe I could win the lottery. Like, have you ever been so scared that you literally started like making deals with God? People actually do this. You go, oh my God, please, I promise I will be the best person ever for the rest of my life if you just help me get through this defining moment of absolute terror. In this video, I want to tell you the real story of how I got a window cleaning business off the ground in the middle of the winter, flat broke with an eviction notice on my door, debt collectors calling me, I could barely keep my cell phone on. We had 6 days to vacate our apartment, 6 days to move out, and it was terrifying. And I was just barely keeping a driver's license. Had fees up so my wife was sleeping, and it was like 2 o'clock in the morning. Or it was like midnight or something, and I snuck out of the bedroom in our little tiny apartment. We had 6 days to get out, eviction, and I sat on the toilet and I like closed the door and I started texting on my phone, thinking of friends who have money, and I reached out to my buddy Eric Reno. I know you've seen him in my videos. He was already doing very well, and I knew that he had money, and I'm so embarrassed to admit this. I actually sent him a text message saying, dude, I will literally give you collateral. I give you my watches, my whatever. I think I had some studio equipment. Please loan me $1,000 just to get through this month. I promise I'll give it back to you in 60 days or when the spring breaks. I'm so scared right now. Please, dude, I promise you I'm good for it, please. And I was hovering over the send button on the text message, and I was like, I can't do this. And I was so scared, and I felt like I was at the end of my rope. I had no other options. I had over 40 job applications in all over the place. I had well-worded resumes. Nobody was hiring. I had gotten a CDL for driving trucks. I couldn't find a truck driving job, and we're broke, dude. I was terrified. I pressed the send button, and I sent him the text message. And he sent me back the most amazing message, that it was the defining moment. Okay, that's the end of this video. I'll tell you. I'm going to tell you what he said right now. Dude, he sent me back like a 3-page text message. Dude, I know exactly what you're going through. I love you. My brother, Keith, man, I've been through it. I was in a crappy apartment with my wife having a second baby, and we couldn't keep the lights on. It was so scared. He said, I'm absolutely not going to loan you a penny. You need to toughen up, Keith. You need to get out there and hustle. Nobody is going to do it for you. You've got to pull your shit together and reach inside of you. Whatever he said to me, I don't remember the exact words, but it was basically like, reach inside of you and pull out that hustle. Reach inside of you and pull out that hustle, because nobody is going to do for it. You've got to get out there and face your fears and hustle. And in that moment, as soon as I read that text message, like, it was a type of brotherly love that I needed that moment. It was the knife that cut, and it hurt, but it cut to the truth. It was the truth. And I had no idea in that moment how I was going to make it happen, but I was like, you know what? Now I'm dead. I'm already dead. I'm going to walk into my death. I'm going to march into the battle of my death, and I'm going out swinging now. That's when you face the bully. It's when you face the Goliath. It's when you face that entity, that demon outside that's trying to get in and eat your family, right? If you saw someone outside of your house with gasoline and a match trying to put gas and burn your house down, would you just sit in the house and let it happen? No, you would literally get a baseball bat and, well, I don't want to say shit like that. If I saw someone, oh, just you call the cops. No, you got to go out and do something about that, right? You have to do it. You have to take action. If somebody came into your front room and they took your trash can and dumped trash all over your floor, right? You would escort that person out of your house. So that's what's happening in this world. It's like you're born alone, you die alone, naked and afraid, and there's no ship coming to save you. And when you realize that, and you're in the middle of the ocean, and you're screwed. That's when it happened. When a lion hunts a gazelle, there's a shift that happens in the brain. It's like I learned this from Chris Brady. He's a speaker. He's amazing. He said there's a blue bag in your brain. It's got this liquid, right? It's like a metaphor. And when that thing breaks open and the blue liquid goes in your brain, you change and you can never be the same ever again. And once that switch is thrown, you become. He says when a lion hunts a gazelle, it will actually pick out one gazelle, and when it goes after it, it's like a heat-seeking cruise missile. And it will ignore any other gazelles that are just sitting around grazing because it's going for that one target, that one goal. When you hone in on what you want, you will literally walk through fire to get it. You will do anything. Oh, there you are. I was looking up here. So people are like, it drives me nuts when you videotape when you're on the road. I'm right here, dude. I'm sitting in the lane, bro. It's just driving you nuts because you can't see the road. Okay, going to the office here. Gotta go to the office and check the mail, dog. So this is what I did. I was looking at a small business opportunity magazine, trying to find, and searching on Google, business startups under $1,000. I'm like, I don't have $1,000. Business startups under $500. I don't have $500. Small businesses that you can start under $100. You know what one of them was? Window cleaning. So my wife comes home from work, it's snowing outside, it's freezing, I'm sitting on the couch all depressed, I'm looking at a small business opportunity magazine, and I found some dude named Don Marsh, window cleaning. I go, oh my God. I can't find a job. I'm literally going to get a scrubber and a squeegee, and I'm going to go clean windows in the winter. I'm like, but people don't need their windows cleaned in the winter. And then I had no choice. I'm like, I'm going to make their windows clean. And I went around and I noticed that there was all this salt all over the windows, everywhere, and the windows had needed to be cleaned more than in the summer. And basically I went out and I was getting all this rejection for 2-3 days in a row. Nobody wanted their windows clean. And I realized it was because I didn't want it bad enough. I didn't understand how to communicate. But when I broke the seal and was able to sell a couple jobs, it triggered to me that these small business owners in these strip malls and plazas, they're busy. They don't even care if their windows need to be cleaned because they got so much going on. You have to break their pattern and do a pattern interrupt. You have to do something to shock them and get their attention. And because $12, $15, $20 to $25 is nothing to somebody who's operating a successful business. It's nothing to them, right? So you got to go in there with a level of enthusiasm, and it's called positive expectancy. An attitude of positive expectancy means that you won't take no for an answer. You're positive and you have an expectation, dude. Dude, I'm here right now. I'm the local window cleaner. I'm gonna clean your windows and make them shiny, and I'm only gonna do it for $15. No, I'm doing it right now. And they'll be like, he who has the most certainty wins. If you can generate more certainty than even a person who's doing $1 million a year in that moment, they might collapse in a good way. Let me pull over here. They're gonna be like, what did you say, $15? Just do it. Make sure you do a good job. So, you clean their windows, you dry them down, you wipe down the frames, you give them a receipt, you collect your $15, and then you say, I'll see you in 2 weeks. In 2 weeks? Yeah, man, I clean a lot of windows in this area. I'll be back in 2 weeks, and I'll see if they don't need to be done, that's fine. But later, I'll see you in 2 weeks. See you in 2 weeks, bitch. So that's what you do. You keep coming back, and then before you know it, you got one little store in this strip mall. It's embarrassing. And then you get 2, and 3. Before you know it, if you stay consistent and you keep going and saying hello repetitively, you can end up being the guy that locks down 50, 60, 70, 80% of that entire strip mall. I was locking down 50 to 60% of the strip malls and plazas in my area. Not all of them, some of them just 20%. Oh, excuse me, thank you. But little by little, within a very short period of time of just a couple weeks, you can grow an entire, you can grow an entire business and now be pulling, I don't know, $100 to $200 to $300 a day. I think I was $150, $170, $170 a day from doing window cleaning. And I remember coming home, man. I had just enough money to pay the rent and get a money order down to like, our rent was only $500 when we first moved in there. It went up. I got up to like $527 and I paid the rent. Then I went out and I cleaned windows again and I was able to pay the cell phone bill. I begged T-Mobile, or it was Metro PC, please keep my cell phone on just one more day. And they did. And I was able to barely pay that. And then the electricity was about to get shut off and I barely paid that. And I just kept going out and cleaning windows, freezing my ass off, scared shitless. When you're all alone and afraid, and you're out there on your own, but you know that it's working and you see, right? You can get through the dark night of the soul. You can get through those terrifying times. And those times burn a lesson inside of you that's so deep and so strong that you don't ever want to go back there ever again. So that's why even if you have, you get your $5,000 in the bank finally, $5,000, 10, then 15, 25, 30, $35,000 in the bank, or whatever that is to you. Then you get your business legit, and then you're paying taxes, and you got insurance and all that, and then and it gets to that point where you're always looking back at that time, and that time is like, it's like a lion in a cage. It's like a gorilla in a cage, bro. And you look at it, it's like. It's just waiting to get out. It's waiting for you to screw up one time so it can get out of that cage and maul you, right? You take your whip, and you take your whip and you go, whoosh, shut up. You literally, you got to look at those. It's a demon in a cage, and it's always at the bottom of underneath the steps, and it's waiting for you to mess up, dude, so it can run you up, brother. That's this book. Ooh, I should write a book about that. There's this Outwitting the Devil is a book by Napoleon Hill, and it talks about staying on the straight and narrow. Like, don't do drugs, don't drink. If you drink, don't drink and drive. Just keep your ass on us. The path is narrow and the gate is very small, and you gotta just stay on that straight and narrow, because dude, that demon, keep them objectified. Steer your ass in the bottom. You go down in the bottom of the steps, and the demon's under the steps. They're like this. And you're sitting there eating Twizzler sticks. Oh, what is that? Licorice, right? You're pulling the rope off, and the demon's like he's a bad little demon. I'm twisted, man. But that when you see things like that, you got to keep that fucker locked away. Because you be shit. Alright, that's the end of this video. Now, check out my podcast on SoundCloud.com. I'll put a description in the link in the description. What's up? I'm Keith Kalfas. You want to get on my email list? I've got a free video series on the landscapingemployeetrap.com. I'll put a link below. Also for the window cleaning as well. My channel is the Window Cleaning Blueprint, the Landscaping Employee Trap. And if you're into the deep psychological stuff that I'm talking about, my other channel is called I Am Ability. And I got lots of vlogs and video footage, but just not enough time to edit it right now. I love you. Take care of yourself, and I wish you the best. I really do. Peace. 6 reasons why you might not have enough money saved up for the winter.
Speeding on the leash. Yeah. Oh Lord, way to go. Agents on my phone. We be on the road like we on the boat. Yeah. Right or wrong, I don't even know. All my conscience gone. I don't even know. All my conscience gone.
What's up? It's Keith Kalfas with the Untrapped Podcast, and this is like a video version of my podcast. I've wanted to kind of build out the studio thing for a while so I can do this. Hey, I wanted to do this for a while, and I do have a podcast on iTunes, Stitcher, Anchor, Spreaker, SoundCloud, every place that you can get a podcast. Just look up Keith Kalfas or the Untrapped Podcast. Some I talk, and others I interview awesome entrepreneurs and experts in the industry, and I just believe there's a lot of value in that podcast. If you can relate to me and you watch my videos, I just like to get deep and just talk about those things that I don't hear a lot of other people talk about. So one thing that's been
just burning inside of me is to get a lot of content out around these specific things. Like, for instance, 6 reasons why you might not have money saved up for the winter. Whatever's going on, they have specific reasons why that they weren't able to get it together, and just kind of like paraphrasing around, you don't have any money saved up for the winter. We're in the green industry. A seasonal business model is like you crush it 8-9 months, and then you have a few months of downtime. And then if you're into the snow plowing business or not, depending on what you do in the winter, you have side hustles. I don't know what it is for you, but I know in my life I've been through many seasons where I was flat broke in the winter, and then it takes you to like June, July before you can actually, and then you go into debt. It's a very stressful cycle, and you can't grow a life like that. So if this is you, this video is definitely for you. I have to time this here. I got my phone on airplane mode but it'll be worth it. So I'm going to read them real fast, and then I'll go through them one by one. Okay, so number 1 is you didn't decide in advance. Number 2 is you stuck your head in the sand. Number 3 is you took weekends off. Number 4 is you didn't save any money. And number 5 is you refuse to learn, to educate yourself and learn marketing and sales. And number 6 is you didn't put your foot down. What does that stuff mean? Okay, when I say you didn't decide in advance, which is number 1, is if you really sit down despite the fears and the frustrations or whatever type of, we call it chaos in the environment that's happening. Okay, so if you know for a fact that the end of the waterfall's coming and you need to build a boat or get out of the river or do something, and you stick your head in the sand with that, no matter what's going on, you know that the winter's coming. Even if it's like March, April, if it's May and the birds are chirping and you're working your ass off, the winter is absolutely coming. And so, and this sounds kind of simple, but there's something called a stable datum in neuroscience. When you have a specific belief, whether it's true or false, whether it's rooted in truth with the capital T, or it's false, or it's a complete fiction, your brain and you will start to develop pathologies and neural networks around an idea that becomes a belief, and now you actually start to revolve your life and your psychology around these sets of beliefs, right? Or these doctrines. And this is how your entire life goes, see, I don't want to get too deep into this because this could be like a 20-hour video or a series of videos, but that's why I wanted to do this, so I can have kind of a long-form content and break these things down. So when you decide, Tony Robbins says you don't get your shoulds. Really dry in here. You don't get your shoulds, you only get your musts. When something is a must, there's no other option. Period. You know that the winter's coming. You have to do everything that you have to do to make sure, and you decide in advance that December, January, February, March, April, whatever months it is for you, I have to have X amount, whatever, thousands, tens of thousands of dollars saved up. Now, it doesn't mean you're not going to make money in the winter. You can hustle, you can plow snow, you can do all types of things, right? But having that nest egg set aside, and not only for that, but ongoing into your life, the farther you think out, and the more you get with the brutal, like, mortifying reality of how serious this shit is, and money is like oxygen, and nobody's going to just give you their oxygen. You're on your own. Like, you're born naked and afraid. You're going to die naked alone. So just decide in advance. Number 2 is you didn't put your foot down when it mattered most. In the moments when you have people in your life, it could be family members, employees, friends, and whatever they're doing that's consuming your time, and obviously you got to spend time with family and friends and do all those things. But if you don't have an order and priority of what needs to get done so you can get to that point, whatever that point is, everything will just pull you down like this primordial soup. There will be no structure, there will be no boundary, and everything will just pull you down. And the winter will come and you'll be broke. So it literally is like, nope, we're only staying out till this time because I have to go home and do these things. I gotta be up. I gotta hustle. I gotta close this job. I gotta do these sales. I gotta, whatever it is, I have to make sure that this works, and I'm a robot, and I will do whatever it takes to make sure that this is what happens. And if anybody doesn't like it, too bad. You can explain to them why it has to be that way. And if they don't understand it in the moment, you are leading them to a place that they can't lead themselves. But in the back end, whether they realize it or not, sometimes when you are the person who pulls through and you save the day, you have the penalty of leadership. So you are the one who saved the day. You had the money to pay for everything because you're the one who worked your ass off or whatever it is, and still nobody realizes it. So when you are the most responsible person, you become the money man, and then everybody expects you to pay for everything, and it's the penalty of leadership, right? It's the success tax. It's whatever. So number 3 is you stuck your head in the sand. I'm sorry, back to number 2. So you put your foot down. Number 2 is put your foot down. You have to put your foot down with people and yourself. Number 3 is you stuck your head in the sand. What does that mean? Okay, you know the problem's there. You stick your head in the sand. Sticking your head in the sand is playing on YouTube. It's watching videos. It's laying on the couch. It's sleeping in. It's running your gas tank down all the way till you have like 1 mile. You ever seen that thing? I saw it on like Instagram or somewhere. Like, are you this type of person? You wait till your gas tank is on E. You're like, oh, I think I need some gas. Or are you the person that when your gas is like all the way down to only half a tank, you're like, oh shit, I need to fill up. Like, where are you? How proactive of a person are you? And I think that proactivity, at least for my life, comes from pain. I wish I was an even more proactive person than I am. So human beings will do more to avoid pain than they will to gain pleasure. And when you've been dangled in, Satan's mouth or the alligator's mouth, and you felt that brutal fear, mortal reality of what it's like when you don't face responsibilities, it's actually less painful to just work your ass off and save your money. Which leads me to number 4, is you took weekends off. Well, my father or my uncle or whoever it is who retired or somebody said, you got to take the weekend off, man. You work too hard. The week is for working, and the weekend is for relaxing. Well, maybe in your time, but I've already done the math, and I can see very clearly that I have to work weekends for the next 5 years, or I'm going to die. Are you going to give me your oxygen? I'm trying not to cuss here. Are you going to pay my bills and you going to give me some of your oxygen? I didn't think so. So I'm working weekends. I'll take 1 weekend off a month. How about that? And then that's when we'll do this thing. And until you're willing to pay my bills, because I'm not at a level you're at yet, and pay attention to who tells you this stuff. If it's somebody who's completely irresponsible with their life, because it's funny that the guy that will tell you to relax and take it easy is the same guy who next week before he gets off the phone with you, he'll be like, oh, by the way, can I borrow $20? Yeah, exactly. Right? So number 5 is you didn't save any money. I'm sure I'm good at my time. Saving money is a skill that I think it has to become like an emergency to you and an exciting thing at the same exact time. So you save money out of like fear and like you must do it. And then there's the healthy side of saving money, which is you do it out of enthusiasm. Like, wow, like I'm a responsible person. I save money. I know how to save money. And it's building towards a future. If you save money, you can invest in things and, do things. And if you don't know how to save it, it's a skill it's very deep and diverse. There's an amazing there's materials that you can get, audiobooks you can listen to. Like Mike Michalowicz has a book called Profit First. He has another book called the Toilet Paper Entrepreneur, another one called The Pumpkin Plan. There's so many books about money and finance and how to save money and accounting and taxes and all that shit that you can learn. Because when you raise the necessity first of like, oh, this is extremely important. Like, I need to save money because shit goes like this, and you don't want your life to be like this. You want it to be like this. And because money is like oxygen, if I could save oxygen and there wasn't enough, I'd be finding a way to save that shit, right? So learn how to save money, right? And I don't think that you should do this at all by any means, but I remember a time when I was just broke and I like wrote on a bunch of envelopes. I was like rent, gas, cable. I had like 12 envelopes, and some envelopes only had $2 in it. Some had 20, some had 80, right? And now that's in the bank. So you can like actually start an extra bank account. Like you have a business account, you have a savings account, you have a side checking account, you have your personal expenses account, then you have an emergency fund account. It's okay. Open up multiple bank accounts, and when the money comes in, you pay, I'm not trying to confuse you, but if you pay your payroll and then you set aside for taxes, and then you have a personal savings account, and then you save business stuff for taxes and then for expenses, you can do that. If you don't have the wherewithal or the capacity, or if you don't have the self-discipline, like somebody who's an alcoholic, if you put a bottle of alcohol right there by them, tell them not to drink, and they're trying not to drink, I mean, how long is it going to take before they go, oh, and then you're going to, bash them for that? Doesn't make sense to me. Remove it. Out of sight, out of mind. 30% rule is 30% of all money that comes into your entire ecosystem gets socked away and saved. So one thing that I might not be bringing up right now could be the question that's just burning and pissing you off. If you are in the position where you don't have enough money saved up for the winter, and say, why don't you say the most obvious thing in the world, Keith? What is it? How the hell am I supposed to save money when I don't even make enough money to save any money? Right? I used to have that. That was like my burning thing. You hear all these people talking about all this shit, and I would get so angry, I'd want to scream, because I'd be like, how do you even save any money if you don't even have enough money to pay your bills, let alone save any fucking money? And then there's taxes, and then you start thinking about all that shit and how godly expensive insurance is, and then you just get deflated, and you can go into depression and become like not in a good place, right? So that brings me to the next thing, is you stuck your head in the sand. When you face the brutal reality of how hard like life is, the sooner you face that, you realize it's not as hard as it seems, right? So, I have to figure out how to make a lot more money so I can pay all my bills and all my stuff, and enough to save money for the winter, as an example in this video. So it's like the chicken and the egg thing. It's like you're like, it's not fair. It could drive you insane, because if you're the type of person who's a workaholic, you're working, 50, 60 hours a week. This is like almost like some Dave Ramsey shit. I have Dave Ramsey's programs, and I haven't dove into them yet. But some people have told me that I sound like him sometimes like this, and I'm not comparing myself to him. The guy's incredible. But I think it's just the principle of the fact is that when you look at the brutal reality, I guess I'm going to have to work 80 hours a week to make this happen. And then you go into a victim state and you say, I don't want to work 80 hours a week because I care about my health and my sleep and my family, and all that's going to fall apart. Exactly. Yes. Well, there's another side to this, but I'm gonna agitate this a little bit more. Yes. You have to go work 8. Oh, I'm sorry. Wait, I just did the math again. 80 hours a week isn't enough. Oh, you're going to have to do 94 hours a week. Oh, whoa, I forgot. 96 hours a week. Yeah. So you're going to have to wake up at 5 a.m. and you're going to have to work till 1 a.m. 7 days a week, nonstop, until you fucking die. Right? Like, now, that's what you have to do. So say goodbye to your wife, say goodbye to your kids, say goodbye to your family, say goodbye to your sleep, say goodbye to your health, and you're literally just going to work yourself to death because money is oxygen, right? And if you don't have any oxygen for you, you definitely don't have enough to give to anybody else. So the number one order priority, this is going to sound really, really bad, and people are going to attack me for this. Because people who have their shit together or have some money in the bank say, first of all, I love God, I love Jesus. That's just my personal beliefs. And I have learned just my own journey that if you don't put God first, and then, your wife, and then, yourself and your business in the order of priority, you'll pay hell for it, right? And that seems impossible because you'll be like, okay, so I'm going to be broke and not put God first or my wife first. So I can only speak from experience what I had to do. I had to put everything last and put figuring out how the hell to make enough, to get enough oxygen for myself first. And that's shit. How do you do that? Albert Einstein said, you can't solve a problem with the same level of thinking you were at when you created the problem. I call bullshit. I didn't create this problem, being born into this monetary, commercialized society where you have to have money just to fucking breathe. Which leads me to rule number 6, is you refuse to learn sales and marketing. You refuse to get educated. Knowledge is power. So whether you've got a job or whether you have a small business or whatever that is for you, I have walk up to a man who has headphones on his head while he's working, and he's going like this, and he's weed whipping, or he's cutting the grass, or he's doing the power wash, or he's painting. It's better than listening to nothing unless you're in deep thought. I don't know. It's cool. Technology. I just got a new pair of Bluetooths in the mail because I lost mine. I love them. But, hey, buddy, what are you listening to? I like Eminem, right? I used to listen to his music when I was younger or whatever. I don't know too much about what he's doing now. But anyways, I'm listening to Eminem's new album, dog. Oh, shit. Eminem is the shit. Eminem is he's a great rapper or whatever. So, but is Eminem teaching you how to manage your finances, or is like any rapper or whatever, any musician, you're listening to music, you're listening to AC/DC. I like AC/DC. I like all that shit, right? And it's cool. It's motivating, dog. It's motivating. Okay. But is that motivation giving you the education to know how to do sales and marketing, how to make more money, how to get out of your shitty job and start your own business? Or if you own your own business, how do you get higher paying clients or get more of them? Are you listening to a podcast? What are you listening to? Because in 5 years from now, the people you associate yourself with and the books that you read, whether it be in paperback book or audiobook, is going to give you the education that is going to empower you with the knowledge that you can go out and apply and change your entire life around. So, this is going to be really, really hard. I don't want to learn this stuff. Well, I guess that you're just going to starve to death and you're just going to die and you're going to be broke every winter with no money, and then you're going to go into debt, and then you're just going to lose everything and end up just living on welfare or living on someone's couch. And then, I don't know, that's scary as shit. I'm not judging anybody or anything, because there is one thing for sure, and I will, because I only got a minute left here. You have to get resolution in your consciousness. I am no stranger to paranoia, to having just some days you're off for days on end where you're just a mess. You can't think straight. You have anxiety. It feels like your skin is on fire. People around you are attacking you. You have family chaos and drama going on, and you're just caught in the swirl. When you're caught in the swirl, then, like I said, then somebody you love dies, then something happens. Now this is financially draining you. Then there's a pet issue. Then something, if you have kids, it's non-fucking stop. And you're like, am I supposed to just cut all these people out and let them drown to death while I go make money? And then now you become that selfish bastard who just puts money first? This is really complex. I used to talk with my buddy, Coach Rob, about this. I said, well, what happens when you get married and have kids? He goes, well, then it just becomes more and more complex. complexity. It's easier to grow a healthy intimacy than it is to fix a broken one, right? So at the level you're at right now, you get your shit together where you're at right now. Get your shit together, because it's only going to fucking get harder. And the more you keep bucking the system, it's just the harder it's going to be, right? So feel blessed and gratitude for where you're at right now, and look at your past and let go of the shitty things that you went through, or what people did to you, or the mistakes that you made. Let that shit go now, so you can clear up some breathing room in your life and be fond of your past, of the good times, and when you can get yourself into a place of gratitude and get excited and get fired up. So you know what? I leave version 1 of me behind. Ken Wilber, the author of Cosmic Consciousness. That's a totally different story, but he was like, this was Ken Wilber version 1, version 2, version 3. What version are you in right now? How do you upgrade your identity into a whole new, confident, empowered, a bold version of you who goes out and gets this shit done, so this never happens to you ever again, so you're not stuck being fucking broke in the winter? Like, come on, you're fucking better than that, dude. You are better than that. You deserve more than this. You are the shit. Look at everything you've gone through and everything you've overcome in your life already, and you're fucking broke in the winter. Like, you deserve better than that. This is a must for you. Why the fuck are you broke in the winter? It's your fault. Your fault. Your fault. Hit your chest like boom. So it's my fucking fault, dude. So stand the fuck up and man the fuck up and go out and hustle. And you're going to have to face a lot of fears. Go look in the mirror and put fucking war paint on your face and resolve to doing whatever you have to do to become a warrior. So get some audiobooks, get a subscription to audible.com, and jam education down your throat. That's specific to where you're at, right? I went through a long period where I was just like drugging myself with as many audiobooks as I could. And at some point, maybe you have to get to the point where you're just like, you're going to vomit. You can't deal with this person, this situation, your own excuses anymore. And you just literally, you vomited it out. You know when you're done with something by when you're repulsed by it. It's no longer going to happen for you or your life. And holding the other people that you love around you accountable, and having an accountability group of being around successful people, right? I've got a lot of my own bullshit, my own struggles, my own head trash that I talk about sometimes with you guys. And I'm like, I just really, really believe that if you're broke in the winter, it sucks. But it's nobody's fault but your own. So that's 6 reasons why. Put your foot down, decide in advance. Don't take weekends off if you can't afford to. Raise your prices and make more money. And that's a whole nother thing. I should make another video about that, because you can have all these excuses that come up. My buddy Rob told me something that I wrote down. Oh, it was good, bro. I put it on Facebook yesterday. Basically, he said if you have a paradigm or a belief that's not true, but you believe it's true, you believe something that's not true, it'll create a brick wall in your life, and you just can't get past that thing because you believe it to be true, and now you form a stable datum around something that's fiction. It's a fiction. If other people have figured it out, and people that aren't even as smart as you, then you can figure it out, and it sucks if you don't want to even do the thing, but sometimes you have to do shit you don't want to do. That's what it is of being a full-blown adult. That's what responsibility is. I'm not here to preach you anything. I really am speaking from my heart right now. Like I said, I've got a lot of my own bullshit to deal with, but I think that's really my position here on YouTube and on social media. I've fought back and forth with it many, many times. I love making entertaining videos when I have time and stuff, but I love talking real shit, dude. Yeah, dog. All right, fired up. Hit the subscribe button. Check out the links below. Check out my podcast. Give me a thumbs up. Let me know in the comments below any tips you have for not being broke in the winter. This is Keith Kalfas with the Untrapped Podcast, and peace out. What's up? This is Keith Kalfas. Hope you're doing awesome. And in this video, I want to talk about, and let's discuss 10 different ways that you can make money in the winter. How do you make money in the winter if you're a seasonal worker and you need money now? This is the stuff that I was looking up on YouTube and forever. I was always looking up before I got to the point where I figured out how to make money in the winter, being in a seasonal business and as a seasonal worker in the Midwest. So I have a list of things that you could do to make money in the winter if you're in lawn care or landscaping or a seasonal business, or you're trying to start your own business and it's freezing out and there's no work. How do you make money in the winter? Okay, so winter money. Winter money. What are some things that we can do to make money in the winter? Well, number one is the most obvious thing. You can go out and you can get a job. You can get a job in a restaurant, washing dishes, waiting tables, prep cooking. I'm sorry, I got a microphone here. You can get a job washing dishes, waiting tables, prep cooking, work in a factory, a hardware. You can get a job. Sometimes you can have out job applications all over the place and there's no jobs to be had. But you could literally spend months filling out resumes and going to interviews and grinding and hustling, trying to find a job, and you don't find a job. Number two, you can buy and sell stuff. This is freelancer entrepreneurship. Hope you're not trying to buy and sell any drugs, because that's really bad and illegal, and that'd probably be worth more pain and headache than it's worth. And it's also, well, it's probably not a good idea. But you can buy and sell stuff on Craigslist. I used to hustle in the winter. See, I've always done lawn care and landscaping in the winter. I've always been broke, so I've always had to figure out how to hustle. So I've had like an Amazon and eBay and Craigslist business. I had this hustle one time in 2006 or 7. I strictly was buying and selling iPods. That's what I was doing. I was buying iPods and reselling them, buying them on Craigslist. I'd resell them on Amazon and eBay, or I'd buy them from eBay and resell them and mark up the price. And I was making, I don't know, an extra few $100 a month buying and selling iPods. I was selling cell phones. I was selling anything I can get my hands on. And then, so you could buy and sell cars. You could get into buying and selling cars or anything. If you don't have any money, then you're going to start out with nothing, right? But buying and selling stuff is a hustle. Here's another thing. You can actually call around friends, become a freelancer or subcontractor, get a part-time cash job. You know, if you do any cash jobs, you should have your own general liability insurance policy with your own workman's comp policy. You should be a registered LLC or sole proprietor and all that stuff before you even accept $1 from anybody. Well, if you're broke and you don't have any of that stuff and you got to get a part-time cash job, maybe you have a buddy who does basement remodeling or winter work or carpet. You could do that stuff in the winter. It's gonna get better. So, you can be a subcontractor. You can do tree work in the winter. You can work for people doing trees. Here's the one thing that I did. I was flat broke and freezing my ass off in the middle of the winter. So I started a window cleaning business in the middle of the freezing winter. There was like a foot of snow outside and I was desperate for $1. And I went out with a squeegee and a scrubber and dish soap for like $40 or $50 from Home Depot, and I literally built an entire window cleaning business because I was desperate and I couldn't find a job, and I went up and down strip malls and plazas knocking on doors, and I ended up building an entire clientele where I was making average of, by the time it really started working, it took 3 months. I was doing $150 a day, but every single day, right? So window cleaning business. Now, in this day and age, you can actually, if you know a little bit of thing about social media, if you're good at designing or Photoshop or whatever, you can become a freelance graphic designer on 99designs.com, Fiverr.com. You can start up on Craigslist. You can create your own business cards and logos and designs and start your business out of nothing and just start cold calling and networking all over social media and do graphic design for people. Maybe you can, so you can be a freelance designer, a graphic designer, a video editor, a cameraman, or something, I don't know, whatever. If you're good at computers, you can do computer repair for old people, right? You can help people, you can literally go to people's houses or hold webcasts of teaching people, old people, I'm not saying old people, but you could teach people that aren't internet savvy how to get on social media and use the internet. You could teach people, you could become a coach, a teacher, and hold classes and make money. You could literally invent it, right? That's a good service. So you could become, let's just call it a freelancer. Starting a business overnight. Something that I have always done in the winter for years and years. I've got cameras and lights right here, and this is my studio. I've always had a little Canon T2i Rebel, a little $300 camera or something. So I did photo shoots and video shoots. I do that right now. I'm having a meeting next week. It's winter right now at the time I'm making this video. And now I charge $400 minimum a day if you want me to come out and do any type of photo shoot, because I got to make $400 a day every single day. And then if you want me to edit it on the back end, it's a minimum of $800 for just a basic one-time over with one revision, and it's $800. And anything above that, we go 12, 16, $20, $3,200. So next week I'm sitting down with the company. If they want videos done, I'm thinking an average of $1,200 to $1,500 per video. I do video work, photography. My wife has friends that have events and weddings and birthdays, and I show up with my camera and my little flash, and I do photo shoots for $250 to $400 and making cash all damn winter doing stuff like that. So you could become a photographer. You can become a photographer's assistant if you want to learn, right? You can get on any type of website and network your ass off and start becoming a photographer. Look up tons of free videos on YouTube, take some courses on photography online on like Kajabi or Udemy or something, and learn all the basics in photography, right? What's another way you can make money? The most obvious one. Snow plowing. You can get a job plowing snow. I've been plowing snow my entire life, since I was like 16 or 15 or something, and I'm 34 now. Started out at 10, 12, then 15, then 20, then 25, then $30 an hour. I get paid $30 an hour as a subcontractor. I have my own insurance policy, and I plow snow. I hop in another company's brand new truck with Plow, 2500 4x4 truck, and I plow huge commercial lots, parking lots, residential, stuff like that. So when there's a big snow plow, I recently just stopped plowing snow. But I did it my whole life. It's just because when you do it, you're gone for days on end, sleeping in hotel. Like, it can literally be so extreme if you live in the Midwest, where you're not home for like 4 days and you're sleeping in hotel rooms and plowing snow, not sleeping for like 30 hours straight. And I straight up have backed a brand new truck like right into a brick wall at a mall in the middle of the night, and I was like, And I stopped, and they saw me on the GPS, and they were upset because I stopped plowing, because the shops are going to open, and then the shops open up and there's old ladies walking across the ice, and you're like, you haven't slept in days, and you're like, the amount of risk. This is my own head trash. And I've also plowed for years with nothing happening. But I've gotten in a couple car accidents plowing snow, and I've called up my buddies who plow snow, and they're like, dude, I've destroyed like $80,000 worth of shit this year. Like, it's pretty common, but just that's my own stuff. Sorry. But you can plow snow. I'm gonna edit that out. No. You could start an eBay or Amazon drop shipping business. Amazon. Another thing, Etsy or Amazon, you can literally create and invent your own products, clothing or hats or shirts or whatever. You could become your own freelance entrepreneur and design your own products or inventions and sell widgets on the internet and learn a little bit about marketing. I'm shooting a video right now. If you made a video every single day on Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, and all the like, and YouTube, and you created a whole channel with titling and tagging, and you were really excited about your new t-shirt line or whatever the hell you're trying to make, and you created a little basic website with a shopping cart. Now you can develop a sales funnel with an upsell, downsell, cross sale, and build email automation sequences. There's a lot of marketing that you would have to learn, but you can hustle your ass off and make a couple grand a month in an eBay, Amazon, or like a Shopify store, because with all this opportunity all over us now, it wasn't like this before 2010. Like, only over the past 7 years have we had all this opportunity. So there isn't many excuses unless you're not physically or mentally able to, you know what I mean, to make it. But there's not many excuses anymore if you know how to look and where to look. There's opportunity all over the place. And if you are, here's another way you can make money. You could start a house cleaning business. Charge $45 an hour, come in someone's house, clean someone's house for 3 hours. I would charge a lot more than that. Like, I would charge minimum, whatever. You charge whatever you want. But if you go inside of someone's house and you're in and out in 3 hours, you clean their whole house. Let's say you could charge $150. You could do 2 houses in a day and make $300 a day and get clients. Be like, hey, I'll be back next week. You could clean. I would get on my hands and knees and scrub people's toilets and their sinks and everything. I would work my ass off, and I would leave a thank you card on the table. Boom, there's my check, there's my cash. So you could start a house cleaning business literally out of your back seat of your car with $50 in cleaning products. What else can you do? Here's the funny thing, when you're flat broke in the beginning from a broke scarcity paradigm, you don't see opportunity anywhere. That's the difference between people who got the hustle mindset and people who have a broke victim mindset. Hustle-minded people who got the hustle, they look and they see opportunity they'll see an empty street in an alley and they see opportunity, where a broke-minded victim will look and they'll see, it's just an alley with a dumpster, right? No, I see, you see opportunity, and when you train your eyes and your brain to see opportunity, you could see money all over the place. Because when it really comes down to it, if you've got a warrior mindset, you can learn how to develop what I love Anthony Robbins says. You've got your shoulds, and then you've got your musts. When your shoulds become your must, like this must be this way. Period. Like here's a must for me. I must have all my bills paid and enough money to have food in the fridge and money in emergency savings and money for taxes, right? Like, period. I don't care what it takes. I don't care if I have to work 60, 70, 80, 90, 100 hours a week. It doesn't matter what it takes. It doesn't matter if it takes me to my freaking grave. When something becomes a must to you, hands down, like you'll go out and you'll just bang that fight out and get it done and off your plate before... But all I'm saying is, look, you got all these different things. Let's find 1/10 thing that you can do to make money in the winter. You could become an Uber driver. You could do Uber and Lyft at the same time. What else could you do? Yeah, so with the power of the internet, you could do all this. So what do we got? We got 10 things. You can get a job. You can buy and sell stuff. You can become a subcontractor for other people who own businesses and just be a Johnny on the spot, right? You can start a window cleaning business because that's easy and cheap, right? Well, it's hard to do, but it's easy in theory. It's very hard to physically do, but you can do it very cheaply and get it off the ground quick. I've proven it. I sold 42 window cleaning accounts in 48 hours. I know this seems like a total lie to you and it seems impossible. It's 100% the truth. I did it out of complete, terrifying, exhaustive fear with an eviction notice on my door. And then eventually, if you get your hustle game strong enough, you can save up enough money to float you through the winter, and then you could still just have fun doing this extra stuff. Now, you're not hurting in the winter, and then you can develop momentum and then grow from that point. It's about smoothing out all this. Oh, you got money in the summer, broke in the winter. Money in the summer, broke in the winter. The whole objective is to smooth that stuff out, and it could take 5, 6, 7 years of hustling and grinding. Thank you very much. I'm Keith Kalfas. Hope you enjoyed this video, and let me know what you think in the comments below of ways that you can make money in the winter. I'm seriously trying to help. And slap the thumbs up button, crush it if you so desire, hit the subscribe button, and I will see you in the next video. Also in the links in the description below, I have links to my other YouTube channels and other videos and stuff that I've done. Okay, peace.